it do?
All right.
Sorry, I'm late, by the way.
Quick audio checks here real faster on the horn.
Audio check. What's going on? People, how we doing out here?
Ebontis, do you know what the horn was?
What?
Like the horn that we're all supposed to be around
the horn?
What horn are we around?
That is that is just an expression. I do not know the origin of the
expression.
Yeah,
but it must come from somewhere. I want you to research it in real time. I want to figure out what the horn is, because if we find out the horn is something phallic and you've been gathering us around it all these weeks, I'm gonna blame you when we get taken off of YouTube.
Around the horn describes a ground ball double or triple play. Really?
Oh, you talking baseball?
Wait, it's baseball?
Yeah. Baseball reference, maybe. I wonder if that's the actual origin of it.
No, it can't be. I think they must be
here we go.
Different saying.
What does it mean? The phrase should be around the horn, capital H. The capital letter refers to the place Cape Horn on the southern tip of South America. Before Panama Canal was built, any ship wishing to reach any destination in the Pacific Ocean had to go around the horn. That actually makes sense. So.
Wait. But you say it like let's go around the horn, doesn't that? But you're saying it like everybody should talk, not everybody has to go. Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay. It's like a toll. Everybody pay the toll.
Everybody do the thing, yeah.
Okay.
The thing
all right. Ape horn. There we go. Every day is a school day, bro. Every day is a school day.
We learn something every day.
All right, silence on the set in 5.
That was my sound check, by the
way. If that wasn't a sound check, I don't know what is. Chad, does this count as a sound check? An entire discussion about being around the horn or not, or going, or whatever?
He's like, hey, Travis, could you be pedantic into the mic for a couple seconds to check your levels? And I'm like, yeah, let me.
Travis is a tad hot for once. Okay, Travis, don't touch it. I will turn you down a bit. No, I got you. For once, I can turn you off 200%. That is where I leave you for the podcast.
You turn me off 200% every time I see you. Trust me.
I turn you down to 0%. I think about turning you down to 0% many times.
I don't want to see y'all turn on up to 200%. I don't know what that looks like. I don't want to know what that looks like.
Yeah, what is a deranged am I? I'm just feral.
200%.
Yeah. Right, welcome to the pre-show, everybody. It's a good time here. Thanks for joining us. Silence on the set.
Or
take 2. 5.
All right, and we are live. The last word with LordCognito, Ebontis, Ty Guy Travis, fresh on that Thursday evening campfire. A lot of activity with these Guardian games, a lot of games being played and partner showcases and all the stuff that we're doing. And Travis is doing a bunch of things. But anyway, how you doing, man? How's the cheetah going?
Cheetah's pretty good. Actually, been playing a little Destiny.
No,
man, I will tell you.
Wow.
No, I went to go log in because I was like, hey, Prophecy is going to be the dungeon this week. I went in, made my guide, recorded it, and streamed it.
Very good guide. What?
The opening of Prophecy, when you have to collect the motes and then you go to dunk. I forgot the button to dunk. That tells you how out of Destiny I has been.
Oh, I remember that problem. I was like, yo, how do you do it?
What button does what in this game? How long has it been since I was like, I main this game? Maybe not.
Been away. Fair enough. It's allowed. You're allowed to flirt and see other people. It's just an open relationship we have.
Yep. So yeah. So played Prophecy guide. Got that made on Monday. Showed a little bit of the Thaumaturge to my stream. Reviews also came out. Reviews also came out like middle of the day while I was streaming, and one of those where I landed in a different spot than a lot of other people. So it's kind of one of those that I know I didn't get that far enough into it to do a full review. So it's like I wouldn't have just like thrown a half-ass one out there anyway. But it was one for me. There were mixed reviews, like it being like a 5 to a 9. I guess it's one of those that's kind of divisive. I was on the lower end for sure. 6-ish kind of thing for me, just because when I got into the combat, I showed some of stream, what was going on, and just kind of some of the story. And even when I read, this is one of those where it's like, it's interesting to have the perspective of like, all right, I know what thoughts in my mind, I know kind of where I would score it. And then you read the words of review, not the number, but you read the words of review and you're like, these words don't quite feel like they match the number at the bottom, which is always interesting. And that's, again, where everybody puts weight to, is story more important to you? Is like the environmental setup? Is combat not a big deal to you? Is like, and just kind of where you put your weight. And that's, you know, different people have different review styles and focuses for certain games. But it was just interesting to kind of go through like that process of being in my own little bubble again and kind of going, I don't know if I'm gonna. It's like I told you guys that I was struggling to continue to play it. And I tried 1 or 2 more times. I got about 7 or 8 hours in, and maybe 9, something like that. And there was one piece of combat that I like struggled with a little bit, and then I kind of figured out the mechanic and beat it. But it was more just, I don't know if I want to do 20 hours of this, since I got 6, 7, 8, whatever it was. I was like, I don't know if I need to see the rest. And for me, it was like, I'm not going to do a review if I only go, you know, the first third, maybe half in. But to see the difference where other people landed was quite interesting to just kind of know where other people were.
Different strokes, man.
Do what? What'd you say,
Different
Trent?
strokes, man.
Oh, yeah. No, and that's why I mean, the easiest thing I can say is it's just not a game for me. Like, if you want to focus on 1905 Warsaw with the, you know, issues of everything going on in that region at the time, and then the thing about it was, though, is like when I saw the previews, and it's the reason why I reached out, is like conceptually it kind of sounded cool, like it would have hit with me a little bit more, but it just didn't come together for, I guess, what I thought I was hoping for. It was a weird one. But yeah, we'll talk about Destiny here in a little bit, and then I'm trying to just kind of be on top of everything else coming out this month. Saw a little bit on Snow Day, which is coming. That actually looks interesting. I saw you guys do a little bit of coverage on IGN. There's just a couple other, there's a lot of stuff that kind of keeps getting announced. I gotta tell you though, the one actually that I'm probably the most intrigued about, it's the altars.
Yes. I thought it showed well.
The concept of having your world in this mobile space station on a planet kind of thing. But the way you managed it, but it still had full third person like exploration, and then the concept of one person voicing all the different personalities.
And all the different timelines of yourself, based
on depending on what your decision is, depending on the character of that one.
Altars. It was at the Xbox Partner Showcase.
Yeah,
you've seen it before, Trav.
Yeah.
They also showed it at the Game Awards prior. That was its initial debut, and then a little bit more in depth at the Partner Showcase this week.
I didn't remember seeing it.
Yeah,
before,
I had the showcase on, but it was on like a second screen. I was doing something else, so I think I probably missed a little bit of that.
That one looked cool, and I know you guys previewed Unknown 9, I think, today. There's that like almost kind of noir, it's like stealth 3D game with kind of the cool like stylistic art. It was like the second trailer that was shown.
Yeah, I would describe it as like a third person action adventure. It's like
for what, Unknown 9? Oh yeah, that one, yeah.
Unknown 9.
No, I was thinking of the one that was right after that. It was the girls like with the cards, with the stealth 3D kind of one.
Oh yeah.
India, that one.
What?
I don't remember. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused, but I'm getting my games mixed up. You're talking
No.
about
Unknown 9 is the one in India.
Yeah, Unknown 9 is the one in India.
I tweeted a bunch of them yesterday because I was tweeting it for some reason. Where did it go? Sleight of Hand.
Oh, the horror joint.
Yeah, not so horror-y. It was like the lady with like the black hair, and then but she had like the deck of cards. It was, what do they call it? It was a hard-boiled third-person stealth sim.
Yes,
it was right after Unknown.
Yes, correct. I do remember.
And then you had like the Pied Piper animal game, which was in there. Yeah, the one I actually probably most pumped besides Altars is the first Berserker Kazan, because it's like an anime Souls, and the way they did the art style, it looks like kind of a cool mesh. I like that one.
They gotta fix that frame rate though.
It's not out yet.
That frame rate gotta get. Don't be putting. I mean, ask Travis this question. I've always wanted to know this, because Travis might know. We talked about it on LP in the showcase. Like, when you have a partner showcase, who ultimately? I know the developer. Sometimes they want to meet, you know, whether it be the window for presenting, but like, who signs off and says yes? And like, can someone reject it and be like, hey, you know what, that frame rate ain't there? Because I'm very curious. They have to know when there's a technical issue with whatever a preview is happening. So it's like, who gets the ultimate sign off? Is it the publisher, or is it like, hey, we're gonna let them come in because they submitted this, they want to be a part of this?
The publisher would most likely have control over whether a game was ready to be shown, right? Because they're deciding the distribution method, and they're saying, "Yeah, we don't think this is for Limelight yet." And I don't think that would be negotiated between the developer and the person hosting the show. The person hosting the show probably just wants to get as many cool and interesting games or high-profile games out onto their show floor. But I don't think anyone, developer, publisher, or the show hoster, wants to show anything that isn't ready for Limelight, because that's bad for pretty much everyone.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised. I see it slip through a couple of these different showcases lately, where some of the frame rates on some of these games ain't the greatest, and it's a little noticeable. So I'm like, I wonder, who signs off on them. But if the publisher may have control, say ultimately, still put it out there, I
They're
guess.
probably just thinking it's good enough and it's a proof of concept. And
Yeah.
I think historically people have been less crazy about that when you're showcasing a game because they're unfinished products, but not everybody is reasonable online. They expect, you're going to show the game and it's going to be it. Absolutely perfect performance. But as somebody who plays a bunch of games that are not out yet, that is extremely rare. Usually optimization is the last thing that you do when you work on a game, which is why so many games come out and everything is good except for the performance and the optimization, because it's last on the list.
That's day one patch, like week later kind of thing seems to be more and more from what I'm doing a little bit of what Travis is doing.
By the way.
Yeah.
Which is how it should work, by the way, because you don't usually waste time optimizing a game if it's not in its final state or close to it, because that's a whole lot of work for things that might change, right? So
there was something even recently, I can't remember what game it was because it's like on the tip of my tongue. They actually, it was Alan Wake. I think they lowered the minimum requirements to play it. They kind of optimized it even more later for more people to play it for Alan Wake 2, which I thought was kind of cool. So that's
common. Also, adding 60 FPS modes is common now, or adding performance modes and higher refresh rates and stuff like that. Even Destiny, we had a mid game refresh a couple years ago. So.
Yeah. So that's been it, E.
Yeah, I mean, we just kind of covered a lot of it, but yeah, playing some games, doing some things, videos doing all right, so not too shabby.
No doubt. Trav, what you been up to, man?
Yeah, previewing games and reviewing games. Reviewed the Outlast Trials last week. This week, I just got done I just finished reviewing Contra, the Galaga, Operation Galaga, the new Contra game made by the same team that made Contra 4.
Let's go. How's that feel?
Which I will be able to talk about on Monday.
Yes.
Can't talk about it now. And then my next review is the South Park game, Snow Day. South Park multiplayer game, so we'll see how that is. And then I've been doing some previews too. Most I can't talk about because it's all GDC stuff. For those who don't know, GDC, or the Game Developer Conference, happens in San Francisco every year in the month of March, and I'm getting ready to do a bunch of coverage for that, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Nice.
Always is. It's also just cool because GDC has sort of become E3 of sorts. Like, it's the only event really that I can remember where like almost every single developer still goes to it, and it's an in-person event, so it's kind of cool to feel the industry around, which is cool. And so I'm getting ready for that. And then I previewed a game called Unknown 9 Awakening, which is the debut game from a brand new studio. It's a new IP. They created web comics and an audio drama, kind of a scripted podcast, and a bunch of other books. There's like a novel trilogy as well, that are sort of building out the universe, all just for this game series that they want to launch. And so the first one is this game Awakening. So it's a pretty ambitious project. It's definitely double A in terms of like their tech and scope of how things are and how they look. But I think it has potential. It's coming out this summer. I did not get to play it, but they showed us an hour of gameplay jumping around different levels and showing us different stuff that was in the game. And
Reflector, right? I think it's Reflector.
Reflector is the name of the studio, correct? And it's pretty it's interesting. Any day we get to hear about a new IP is a good day in my book, because I think that's where the exciting stuff comes from, frankly. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it, and people can check out that preview on IGN.com if they would like.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it had potential. She had like the little time stopping powers, or see the abilities.
Mhm.
I like the setting. I believe that was the Indian game. I think that was when it was India, and I think it's
That was the
Bando.
one in India.
Yeah, that was the one.
Bandai Namco is the publisher.
Yeah, like
Publisher.
the
And
little
then
like time stops and stuff like that look cool.
Yeah, that looked cool. So
the main power isn't the time stops though. It's the fact that you can this thing called stepping, where you can basically jump out of your body and possess an enemy.
Oh,
And when
that's right. I
you
saw that.
when you possess the enemy, you have access to all of their abilities. So if they have special move sets or whatever, like you can possess this big like chonky enemy called the Bruiser, and then he's got like a ground pound, so you can use it to like destroy an explosive barrel or whatever and cause everybody else to explode. And you basically can like possess the enemies, and you can also chain them, so you can possess one and then jump from that guy's body to a different guy's body and like set up all these things that happen, and then when you jump back into your body, they all happen at the same time. So you kind of see like your mayhem unfold. It's pretty interesting. I actually read the web comics and listened to part of the audio drama for the preview as well.
Wow, they got a backstory.
Yeah, they are really working on the world building and stuff, which is cool. So that was fun.
Yeah, Teddy's a jump from this guy's body to a different guy's body. Oh my.
Yeah, it sounds like my average weekend.
Yo, Teddy, man, love you, bruh. You hit me with that goodness, that new. That Shinobi, that ninja goodness. Shout out to Travis for hooking him up and letting him know. Oh man, I was going crazy, geeking out, brother. This made my day when I saw that shipment. I was like, oh, okay,
cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he hasn't sent me anything. He's just not a very good friend.
Thought that
he
doesn't
sent
sound bitter
Ebontis
at all.
something, Hog something. Yeah. Nothing for Papa Travis. Nothing at all.
Of the three people on this podcast, do you think you qualify as Papa?
He said he hand delivered yours, Trav.
Yeah,
he did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Speaking of jumping from one guy to another
from one body to another body.
What
part of his hand delivery?
This didn't take long to get out of hand. Oh, sorry.
Out of pocket.
Definitely out of pocket.
Out of pocket, out of hand.
Yeah, no. Teddy's great. He brings me swag every time he sees me, and I'm gonna see him in August when he attends my wedding. I'm gonna see all of you in August when you attend my wedding, sirs.
Indeed.
Oh, look at that! He's got he's right there. Do you have every object any one of us has ever given you?
His entire apartment is off screen. He's like, I've got access to everything I need. 3 geeks, $2 super chat, hand delivered.
Yeah. He's like, how do you have things ready? I was like, because I already think about things.
Yeah, you have them all around you in a circle. It's very impressive.
Yeah, man. Other than that, it's pretty much the same things you guys are doing. I was really impressed with the partner showcase. I'm a big fan of the AA and the indie scene, and I feel like a lot of the creativity comes from these spaces. So I like it. I love what I see. I think the altars, me and you are right there. I thought that was such a unique concept. I love what they're doing, and they got their little planetary.
Oh, the altars.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I previewed the altars months ago, so I know a bunch about that game. So I can't talk about that one. Yeah. What do you guys want to know? I saw a bunch of that game.
You can.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. Oh, question. Yeah. All right. So they look like the exploration part with the planet stuff. So is it like when you're dealing with the multiple versions of yourself, is it like base building? What's that component of the game? Like, because it looks cool. Yeah. It's like side to side or whatever.
So it's kind of like a survival game. I don't know if you guys have played Pikmin, but it kind of reminds me of Pikmin, because you know how in Pikmin you're stranded on a planet and you have the time counter that's going down until like you die if you don't find a way to get off. It's basically the same. You're on a planet and you have this big machine that is able to move forward. And the reason you need to move forward is because when the sun comes up, it's going to cook you. It's just going to kill everybody. And so you have a timer where you have to move forward every so often as the sun slowly rises on the planet. Wow. And so every act of the game, your machine reaches some sort of barrier that doesn't let you go forward anymore. And you have to get out of your ship and collect resources and do like a survival crafting part of the game in order to overcome whatever that obstacle is before whatever deadline you have. And so the deadlines are different, and some areas you have to do faster or slower. And so you get out and you do like a collection survival stuff, which is mostly just solving puzzles. And then when you're inside, it's about strategically figuring out which alternate versions of yourself you're going to incubate so that you can get certain things. So you'll be like, oh, well, we're going to starve unless we have like a botanist who can grow things. So I'm going to go through my personal history and I'm going to look at the different threads where maybe I became a botanist, and then I'm going to hatch that guy. And then you have to wait for an incubation period. And then when they're hatched, they become a player that you can tell to do things and interact with. But the problem is every single other timeline except for yours, pretty much without question, has all of these really big psychological problems because of stuff that happened in their lives. And so like in one of them, you become a miner and you lose your arm, and then you become addicted to like painkillers. And so like you're really unpredictable. And that version of you is like a problem right at the beginning. Like he's just like, all right, I know you're going to be like a big issue.
Oh, I love this. This is
you
a
have to deal with that. And it's cool because you get to decide which order you're going to summon these guys in, and they interact with each other and get into fights and stuff. And yeah, I saw a really extensive demo on that game, and it's one of the coolest things. I think my headline was one of the weirdest games I've seen in recent years, and I'm super down. And
I'm super
yeah. Sorry, I thought you guys were saying altars with an A. Now that I know you guys are saying altars with an E, I'm like, yes, I know that game. I covered it a couple months ago.
Yeah, that I love weird. I love new ideas like this, so I gotta support. And then my other second quirky one, and he called it, he knows me well, was Path of the Goddess. Path of the Goddess is, I didn't know what it was at first. It was just
hard to tell until they showed a little more. Like the first time I got a glimpse, I was like, I don't actually know what's happening.
But what's happening?
I think that was like maybe Game Awards trailer, and then this one they explained a little more.
So yeah, that's the Game Pass joint from Capcom, new IP. So basically, you're the protector of this, this princess or whatever. And now we learn about the purifying mechanic when you go from, area to area. But the thing that I like that they show, if you saw the latest trailer, was that you get to a town and then you can use the villagers and stuff to set up to defend. And then there's a night cycle where there's waves attacking. So then it becomes a little turn-based. It's action-y, and then it's turn-based. It looks cool. So it has my full attention. I thought it's really Japanese inspired. The art style is absolutely beautiful. It gets all my ninja-isms, samurai-isms, all of that, and just mystical Japanese mythology kind of energy. So I'm in all the way. So yeah, big fan so far. Those are the two that really. And Zal looked good again.
Oh, yeah. I gotta play that. I gotta listen to. I gotta finish the XCast because they had main guy they had him on this week for the interview.
Oh,
I gotta listen to that.
Dope. Oh, that's dope. Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of weird games, man, I will tell you, my early impressions of Pacific Drive when I didn't quite have the loop weren't great. But the more I keep thinking about that game, the more it just sits with me as a really, really good one. I see more people on Twitter like really having positive reviews and good times with it. And when I finished that game, I was just like grinning. I was like, this was just a cool, and that's why you said it. It's a unique, weird experience. I'm like, a survival.
Which game?
Pacific Drive. Survival station wagon. And I was like, when you go through the journey and you're like, cool. This is so weird, but so cool. I was like, tinkering with the car and changing out tires, and it's a weird Venn diagram that's going to enjoy that game, but I'm glad it exists. That's kind of one of those. So it's a fun one.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of
Cog, how about you? What have you been up to?
Yeah, just that.
Have you been living in Rebirth or?
Yeah, I started. I'm in the. What I realized with the open world, I didn't know if I was. Yeah, the grasslands. I didn't know if I was gonna. Okay, you'll jump in.
I was just gonna say I had 100% of the grasslands last week, and then have not played a second after. So, and I probably won't for hella long because I've got so much stuff
to cover. Yeah, it's just so much. But I wasn't sure I was gonna like the transition to open world from what they did prior. But I do like it. Some of the reward, the questing is really cool. I do like what they're doing now. With the chocobos are adorable.
They look like it.
You do the thing and you whatever sign, and then like
there's a reason they're the only thing that makes it in between every Final Fantasy game, regardless of the universe.
Oh, that's probably true.
I thought the way that they handle. Yeah, exactly. That exactly what it is.
That makes
Gotta have a Pikachu.
Gotta have your Pikachu.
I thought they were a little too aggressive at first with the Queen's Blood game, because I'm like, at first I just wanted to play the Final Fantasy instead of.
But I've heard people get hooked.
But what happens is you start to learn the mechanics and the territorial aspect, and then I go to every town and look for the Queen's Blood players to
now the hooks are in. Now you got to beat them. Now you got to get them all.
I'm into it now a bit, and like I said, the open world is now.
Sujimon, Queen's Blood,
Yeah,
Side
mini-gigs.
games are apparently one of your main games.
If done well. Like,
Yeah.
most of the time, I
Yeah.
usually avoid that stuff. But if done well, yeah, Sujiban is my job. You already know.
I mean, yeah, so that's my main game that I'm playing in my free time, and I think I'm getting pretty close to the end. It's
Where you
starting to
at?
feel wrappy-uppy.
Ooh,
But I'm Infinite Wealth, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta talk to you.
It's a good game.
So you
It's a
going?
good
You
game.
already back and forth, right? You doing the back and forth?
I've been back and forth a few times, yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay. And I just, without spoiling too much, did damn, we got to talk like, because I got questions that I want to know when you guys. What you say, like, you're like, what chapter, if you had to guess? If you had to guess, like,
14, maybe?
oh, you're close. Oh yeah, you're there. Oh, you're there. Okay.
No, I think there's 18 chapters, aren't there?
Yeah, I think it's like
there's quite a
16
few.
or whatever. Did you
Okay.
finish up the Hawaiian portion? Yeah. As far as,
I don't think so.
Okay, because that
I think
was
stuff is still going on there.
got
But,
it. Okay,
yeah, I'm not sure.
gotcha. But you're doing at least the memories, Kiryu, and the
Oh yeah, the
combat.
memories are long gone. I think I have all the memories in Kiryu. Yeah.
Gotcha. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
So
Infinite
stuff is
Wealth.
definitely wrapping up, but yeah, that game is great, and I'm probably gonna do New Game Plus on Legend difficulty because my characters are getting pretty high level. I heard when you start Legend difficulty, the opening area, the enemies are level 75. So I'm gonna try to see if I can finish this playthrough at level 75 or more, and then go to Legend. That's the goal.
It ain't hilarious. This feels like some real urban hood game. Like when you walk around and you in a neighborhood you're not supposed to, and they got the purple crown in their head, and they sitting there, and they in areas where you got to get past. And yeah, I think
it's not a show, shithead.
Yeah, that's just that's my trick when they say that. Did you see that when they 4 deep in a car and they come and spin the block and pull up on you?
Dude, the car one is so funny to me when they just roll through. Honestly, the idea of doing a turn-based instanced RPG where you run into random encounters makes absolutely no sense in an urban setting. Like, there's just mobs of people running around looking for a fight at all times. But it's so Japanese that it just works. So
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it, man. It's a really, really fun game.
Yeah, and other than that, playing a lot of this other game called Destiny.
What?
Playing a lot of it.
I'm actually playing Destiny 2. I'll be honest. That's the reason I was late. I was
As
in a
opposed to
Crucible
Destiny
match.
1. You were in a Crucible match. That's why you were late.
Yeah.
All right.
I got to talk about Crucible.
I'm not putting down the controller during a Crucible match. By the way, can we just kick off with what the heck's going on with Crucible? Have you guys played Crucible?
Well, I've only played Supremacy, which is the one thing that is not affected by the patch right now because that's part of Guardian game. So I've been going back and forth. But the Supremacy node is the only thing that's not. But I haven't played the other, so I don't know.
I'm sitting there thinking I'm in the new meta, and I'm playing it, and I'm like, what has changed? I'm still killing.
Nothing's changed.
I'm like, what? I didn't see any. I thought I was bugging out. I'm like, what? Yeah, go ahead, Trav, because I'm curious. Like,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like, I'm surprised how little the meta has changed. It seems like everybody's still using submachine guns and the like. And then also, I have not been in a single match that has not had a whole bunch of people drop out like as soon as the level starts.
I've
like
heard some.
Basically as soon as they fall behind, like if you fall behind even a little bit, your team is gone and you're sitting there with 2 people, which then means that the matches take hell long because there's fewer people to kill. And so you're just getting farmed for kills, and then it kind of punishes you for sticking around. And I'm like, the actual mechanics don't feel too bad. They kind of feel samey. Like, I feel like my existing loadout was working great, which is a little weird because considering I haven't really played Crucible in so long. But I will say the quitting thing is really bizarre. I did see Vigilance swing. A lot of people are using that in Crucible.
Vigilance is outside. Okay.
I literally just saw.
But yeah, no mercy in Supremacy is a mistake for sure, especially with the quit rates.
Right.
It's wild.
I noticed the matchmaking was definitely much longer. So the population is low because
very slow.
I think everybody's busy with other stuff right now because they put Guardian games all over the directory.
We'll get to that. So I figured let's start with the PvP first, saying. But yeah, that was the first thing. So shout out to them for letting us know in the patch notes that the matchmaking, the new meta is not part of it. Did you try the new what is it? The wave frame? Because I got the God roll. Is it the arc shot?
The
Full
hullabaloo?
shot? The hullabaloo. I want to try it in PvP because I'm still not a fan of this archetype in PvE. So I'm
wave
curious.
frames in PvP? No. Yeah, the trace rifles in PvP, I've never, except for laser tag weekend, I've never really been a fan of.
No, he's talking about the wave frame grenade launcher.
Grenade launcher heavy.
But it's a heavy wave frame grenade launcher, so it's the damage that travels across the ground. We only have one.
I got that after the first mission, but I think I just dismantled it because I thought it was just a grenade launcher.
Yeah, it's the new joint. It's like the only second archetype. So it looks like an Edge Transit in silver.
Yeah. That's literally, I was like, oh, this is like a reskinned Edge Transit, and I just deleted it. I didn't even look at it and notice.
I saw the Edge Transit meme pop up once, so I saw it was like, oh, yep, that is that. No,
literally, I didn't see that meme, and I thought it was an Edge Transit. So like, actually, I was like, oh, I'll just delete this.
So I can't. It's weird. Like, it has a unique combination of Volt Shot and Chain Reaction. Problem with Volt Shot is you have to reload, and you're talking about a grenade launcher. That's not exactly optimal. Yeah, it's not going to be a fast reload that you get a Volt Shot, which then maybe. But the other issue is, like, how often am I ever trying to use a heavy to clear miners, which is what you're typically looking at, and then you're sitting there going, I have my primaries for this. Maybe I've got a fusion rifle to clear up some mid-level guys. Heavy's got to be for the big stuff. So it's weird. So unless it's some dude with his feet planted on the floor, we're just trying to cook the ground. I haven't done a damage test like that. But it would depend on the enemy. Because, it's like, even if it's a wizard and they kind of hover, you could probably still get the wave to hit him kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's going to be anything that's that exciting. I have, I got like a couple different roles that might be okay. So it's like, I'll, play through and think about it. The title has a chance for repulsor brace and destabilizing rounds for a combo. So I would like to kind of have that for a void SMG, since, like, outside of funnel web, I haven't had a really lean into the void SMG kind of thing.
Yeah, I'll jump in because that was my thing. I had high hopes for it because obviously Waveframe's got the 30% or whatever it is buff.
Yeah.
Clearly they wanted to make this a big showcase item, one of the showcase items for Guardian games outside of the hoverboards. We're gonna get to them hoverboards. We're gonna get to that. But as far as this, I have to go in, and I'm just like, I'm not really feeling this, because at the end of the day, if a boss is elevated or you fight like a Vex Mind or something like that, that thing's useless. And then I was like, well, maybe it's PvP, but then 3 geeks are saying, hey, it's not even that great in PvP.
I mean, just use a special one at that point that you could probably get the same option out of.
Yeah, use forbearance in that spot. I'm not going to use that joint. But other than that, I want to shout out Taraxipros, the strand, that came back
last year. Yeah, it's fine.
It's really good. It was good back then. It's even better now. It's sick in PvP. It's sick in PvE. If you get the explosive head,
I'll give a shout out to Vigilance Wing.
Oh, Vigilance
actually nice. Great now.
Yeah, Vigilance is nice.
It kind of hits like an auto rifle, weirdly.
Makes sense. How fast it's a 5 burst.
Yeah, they changed the deterministic pattern on that. I would like that, and there's obviously some sick rolls with thing. But I'll go in real quick with my experience. I've always liked Guardian games. My 2 favorite games events have always been the Dawning and Guardian games. And Guardian games for me,
like baking those cookies.
I always like baking the cookies. You know what I'm saying? The end of the year.
Hate it.
Talking to grandma, making the cookies, getting the thing. For me, this one is, we know what the spirit should be. And it seems like each year they're at least trying to make a Warlock versus Titans. And they're at least trying to get into the spirit of it, including with the matchmaking. But I do like that it showers you with loot. I like the little platforms you go and you light them up. And it's a very Olympic feel, right? So you got that. But doing the Nightfalls, I haven't done it in a while, the competitive aspect. And then now realizing, thanks to your video, which was not explained by Bungie, is the way to get the higher score, because I'm trying to get in the top percent, because I need this hoverboard, is you need to emote before finishing champions, where there was no indicator of any of it.
I mean, it's been that way for like 3 years. It's the same medal that was there before. I was streaming and somebody in Twitch was like, oh, yeah. I'm like, oh, yep, that's a thing. So then I did my guide about trying to get top 10%. The problem with that whole concept, and I tweeted at the Bungie team about this, or at the Destiny 2 team. So there's 2 issues. Each day it's been a different strike. So the first day I ran solo, I got about 232,000 by myself. So far, I have had a higher score by myself every time because I've ever run with a group. No one knows what the hell they're doing, and they just shoot stuff and get no points. It's fun. But by myself, I got 232,000. Live Mondo, we had him on this a while ago. He does some really good solo stuff. He got like 250. I was like, okay, kind of probably where you're going to be close to maxing out, 250, 260. Next day, the strike changed. First time I ran it, 307,000 or something like that. Not even like going over effort. Just the amount of champions, the amount of enemies, just the way it's set up, still within time. It was Inverted Spire. And then today it was Disgraced.
Which one is that?
The old throwback in the Cosmodrome, or in the. That's not. Is it Cosmodrome? Yeah, in the Cosmodrome.
Who's the boss at the end? What type of?
Navoda. It's the witch within the like.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
That one. Oh, the one where you go up like that one.
Yep. Yeah.
Actually doing things?
Yeah, that was today's. And I ended up somewhere. Yeah, by myself around I don't remember, 250, 260, something like that. Now, I could optimize more because the idea is you want to emote for like half a second so it registers, and then you want to finish anything that is a major or a champion. You can do it to both. And the more of those you do it to, everyone's going to be like 5,000 points or 11,000 points on champions. It is a massive difference if you do or don't. So a couple things. One, on the shoot to score, it doesn't tell you what the top 10% threshold is at the time. You don't even know what you're aiming for. You're just like, maybe I'm 10%, maybe I'm 20. That should be in the game on the damn quest so you know what you're aiming for. Two, maybe yesterday's strike had the most points available. So the people who did it yesterday now set the bar higher than maybe the rest of the week if they rotate through a bunch of strikes.
It's not even strike specific?
No. And it doesn't reset every day.
That's terrible design.
Yeah, that's bad.
So that's my.
Can I ask you guys a question
is
unrelated?
the fact that.
Yeah. Go
Sorry. No, that's the big issue. Like, can't see the number you're going for. So if you're under the percent, you're like, how close am I? And then the other thing is, you may not be able to get there, period. If you're like, oh, I just hit 240 and I feel like I was pretty optimal. 320,000 is what I got to go for. How's that? But it could be the different day that you're on. So I got it first day. And that's what I said in my video. Was like, if you don't do it this week, try and do it on Tuesday. So you're early in the week when it resets. And then after
it's daily or it's weekly?
No, it's weekly for the quest, but the strike changes every day so far. So that way it's like, that's why I said the Wednesday one was
someday if you get unlucky, you're never going to beat the score with a different strike.
Yeah, you could.
Hasn't that been like that for like it was like that last year, wasn't it?
I thought it stayed the same strike for a week and it might have just been boring. But I also remember like the first year they did this, the recreational playlist was during the week. And then the competitive one was like on the weekend. And then maybe at some point they opened it up. But I don't remember the strike rotating every day because I don't remember this issue. Now, could be wrong.
Either way, it's terrible.
Yeah, terrible. Prescott was like, he was top 10% on Tuesday. Now he's top 60%. That's the swing you can have. But, you know, there's no way of knowing which day is the good strike. So it's like go in and see what you're kind of running. But some are going to be better than others. They're just not all equal, and those little multipliers are not perfect by any stretch. So it's weird. Like that's kind of a miss. It didn't help that we started the first thing that people were doing. Where the first I shot you guys a message. It lasted on stream, might have been an hour, maybe, because I heard about it probably 30 minutes in. So what happened was
feds got us.
They're fast. It was you go to the Master Lost sector. You load the Master Lost sector, and you instantly get the rewards as soon as you load in. It was 1 second from it. So you would load in, get the rewards, come back out, and then that would also get you progress on your Platinum Medallion. So you just load in, load out, load in, load out, load in, load out. So I got a few extra prisms, but I didn't do it that many times. And then there was a point people in chat are saying, oh, it's gone. Like it's not even on the radar. So then I loaded back to tower and back, gone. Like they turned off the Lost Sector for a day.
So stupid.
It was gone in
so dumb.
30, 45 minutes. It was fast.
They got us. Well, so when you like, what were the drops like from?
I mean, it was two prisms, maybe one. It was a master, so you get a chance at one of the world drops, possibly with extra perks on it. I got some exotic armor drops. So I mean, 3 or 4 things from it, and it literally the timer is 1 second. So it's just a weird trigger. You would load in, and this would like, you know, locking loadout or whatever. You'd load in, done.
I blame Cactus because he had a video up like get it.
Oh, him and Crossbow. No, him and Crossbow.
Y'all sketchy. Y'all supposed to keep that low.
Yeah, I saw Scarrow put up a video, and then he probably had taken it down like 10 minutes later. Because there were a couple of those that went up, and as soon as they were useless.
Travis had an unrelated question that I'll jump in. I have a comment
what's
afterwards.
My unrelated question is, did hunters get the ability to create holograms of themselves when I wasn't paying attention?
Land is covered. Here it comes.
No, the point spread is kind of crazy. Because when you go to the feature...
No, I'm actually asking a real question. I've been seeing in Crucible, people have like
the
static
strand. Yeah,
projections.
that's the strand one. Yeah, they can.
Oh, yeah, you never seen
they
the
can
when
pop
did that get into the game?
It's like when they dodge, they leave a projection of themselves that pings on the radar.
When did that get in the game, though? Did I just miss that ability altogether?
Yeah, it's one of the extra. It's like an extra aspect that got loaded in one of the previous seasons.
Yeah, they added an aspect.
How long has that been in the game? It was an aspect.
I mean, at this point, I don't know, 6 months or something. I'm guessing. Maybe.
God damn! How did I miss that? 6 months.
It wasn't this season. I feel like it was last season. Probably. I feel like it's been there for.
I saw that in Crucible a couple times, and I was like, "Am I lagging? Why are these characters standing here static?" I'm so confused. And then I was like, "Okay, this is definitely a power. I just didn't know this was in the game. What the hell?"
It was
dude. I'm a casual. Okay. I'm a straight casual now. I didn't even know about the powers of the game. Holy man,
that is hilarious.
Yeah, I feel like it got buffed at some point a little bit, lasts longer, pulls. Yeah, it'll mess with your radar kind of thing.
Oh, it's good. Like I if I were a hunter, I'd be using that for sure. Yeah. Also, I knew they nerfed my Antaeus wards. I did not realize how bad the nerf is. I was useless on those things. Useless. It's so bad now. And what's crazy is Antaeus wards were an exotic that like you could be good at if your skill was just really high, and if you made your build around, closing distance and stuff like that. But it didn't really strike me as something that needed a nerf.
Oh, like, so many people hated those things.
Breaking the game with it.
No, I heard so much on like the PvP podcasts and stuff like that. People absolutely hated that thing. There was like it was a pain point for so many PvP players. It was like I heard about it a lot between Twitter and the other places I listened to.
It's got to just be streamers that are just being. I think it's just salty, right?
Top level PvP probably didn't like what it was capable of doing.
That's so silly. What a dumb reason.
That's what I think I heard.
It's so silly. Anyway, I used those for years, and I never like anytime you pulled it off against somebody, it always felt like fair. It was like, all right, I hit you with your own grenade launcher. That's sick. It's rare. You have to pick up speed beforehand. It kind of had like a condition you had to meet, but nerfing it like that, man, it kind of has broken one of my builds, one of my main builds that I
had to change up too. So. I had to change up.
No more threadlings for you, sir.
Oh, bro, they got me. Strand locks, they got us. Come, we've been caught, guys. Come outside. Come outside, guys. We've been caught. Yeah. So look. Not only are they weaker, the health pool seems to be bigger, so they're way less effective. And then I tried because a lot of times I'm gonna be real with you, E. I feel the PvP community tends to be a little overreactive on a nerf to a weapon, right? So I'm like, all right, we heard about
what about SMGs. The Helldivers community? How are they doing on that nerf?
So a lot of times it'd be like, okay, a nerf happens. It's still good. It's just not as dominant as it was before, but it's still good. Oh, I felt that Immortal SMG target nerf.
Oh, yeah. Bro, Peacekeepers also got nerfed for Titans, so you'll see less of the SMGs there as well.
They're definitely promoting hitting the headshot play, that kind of thing. So I get it. And it's in the grand scheme of things, it's fair, kind of thing. But it's going to be used to. I got to get a whole bunch of what happened? What you laughing at?
Travis. He's like, they got to stop catering to the 27 white dudes with USB microphones.
They messing.
Sadly, most of those probably actually have XLR microphones. I'll give them that. But other than that,
yeah, he says as a white guy in front of his XLR SM7B.
Yeah. I was like, I'm the one with the USB. You guys have the XLR.
Yeah, you're the one with the USB. No, I will say I am consistently confounded by Bungie's insistence on catering PvP to the top 1% of players. I get it because they're very public, and so when they say things, lots of people hear it, and probably a lot of sheep follow it. But I legitimately feel like they've made the game significantly worse for the vast majority of people who enjoy Crucible. So
Yeah, well,
It's just
I
a
got
bummer. And I'm not just saying that because of Antaeus.
Yeah.
You guys know I felt this way for a
Yeah,
while.
you
but
felt that way for a while. You've been consistent with that. I think for me now, I just got to get in competitive to see what that is. Also to see what the new meta actually is. I want to give a shout out to 2 buffs though that people are sleeping on. Y'all got to get on any of them heal clip weapons. Good Lord. Bro, that killer
Really?
times 2 on the adhorative, if you got the foresty looking pulse,
Yeah.
that one, or it's a world drop. It's called the Parabellum. It's a 900 RPM
Pair of
SMG.
what?
Parabellum, I think it's
Is
called.
that the new?
It's a bellum.
proxy?
Why do I need 2 of them?
He's doing. I'm telling you right now, it's synergistic with the weapon because you reload so much. You're
Yeah.
gonna be procking heal. Shout out to Above. He got a good video I saw. I was like, yo, that joint, I'm telling you, heal clip is end game material now. Because not only the reload heals you times 2, it heals allies +1. Yeah, shout out to 3 Geeks. Get y'all Parabellum. Any heal clip weapons or meta, even what is it? The fusion, Emerite.
Is that a
Get them
world
heal
drop
clip
or
weapons,
is that Iron Banner?
Parabellum is a world drop now. Believe it's a world drop. Yeah, go check that out. It's a solar 900
trying to figure out where it comes
SMG.
from.
It's very hard to get. The sourcing is weird. It's like I think it's just a random world drop. But heel clip dynamic sway. All right, 3 Geeks. I hear you. I got it at Hordive with heel clip and incandescent, and it's not coming out my lineup right now. So anyway, that's pretty much it. But let's get to the main event. Why I'm here and why Destiny is saved. Hoverboard, y'all. I didn't
Skimmers. Gotta call them the right thing. They're skimmers. I'm only gonna call it a hoverboard. Are you kidding?
Bungie could do no wrong now. It's all forgiven.
Aren't skimmers those fake machines that you put your credit card into for them to steal your data?
They stole it from Nightfall, and I'm in.
No.
This is the cut content.
Well, as Travis said, this probably should have been with Lightfall.
What I'm saying, yeah, I think that this was supposed to be with Lightfall, but doesn't it say? Don't you guys find it? I'm not trying to be negative because I think they're cool, but don't you guys find it funny that in this game that has been accused of having one of the most predatory monetization models, that their new their new item in the game is literally called Skimmers? They're named after like a practice of like stealing money.
Like the pool. The Skimmers a pool cleaner.
Edition.
Is that what
you can get it right now for free?
Skimmer is like a device used to steal money. Like it's like literally what it's called.
Credit card skimmer, yeah.
I was
like, I've also heard of like a pool. Somebody else said it too. It's like I've also heard of a pool skimmer. Like those things that will go around.
Oh, like the things that clean your pool, like the Roombas,
or even just the,
I'll say like when I see like an article that has the word skimmer in it, it's always about like somebody found
makes sense.
A skimmer in a 7-Eleven. Anyway, I'll let you guys talk about it. I just think it's to me that's very funny and kind of tone deaf that they put that in the game.
It's hilarious. The name is hilarious. Look, man, I will say this. I'm very impressed that they allowed this. This is one of the most game and design breaking things.
I feel like it's good. Did you run it through Prophecy yet? Did you?
I saw the videos.
I did it today.
Bro,
I did my solo run. Just
grind and float past entire sections that the game was not meant to do this. Like, this is out of control, the things you do. Then, let's be honest, it's really cool looking. The tricks, what is it? RB, you got the height, the high jump. It as a person who loves the Silver Surfer, this speaks to my sensibilities. It's just really cool. I'm impressed with the technical aspect of how they implement it.
Can we stop real quick?
Yeah,
can you explain why you like Silver Surfer? Because isn't he a genocidal maniac? I just want to clarify that he destroys planets, right?
Yeah. He helps some. He doesn't do it, right? He helps.
Yeah, he was responsible for genocide. He helped. Yeah,
he's just following orders.
He was complicit.
He's just
a lot of blood on
just following orders, dog. Yeah,
that's all he was doing. He was following orders.
I was trying to give Cog one. Okay, leave me alone.
Threw me the alley-oop. You threw me the alley-oop.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, man. My dad made me watch buy that comic. He's like, yeah, these kids are buying. You need something cosmic and deeper, and he made me. I'm like, these guys pontificating all these big words and genocide. I'm like, what the hell is going on in this book? I was like, I'm 9. I'm like, why can't I have Spider-Man? I can't. Like, my dad made me buy Silver Surfer. I'm like, all right, but I ended up loving the character. But yes, he had a very checkered past. But the idea of it is very cool, so dope. And again, from a technical standpoint, the way it's implemented, so cool.
You do. You look cool on a hoverboard. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Bro, can we say rest in peace? I know. Shout out where my man at. Prescott, this does not involve you. Me and you had our talk on Twitter, but this really is going to damage Sparrows long term. As to Sparrow Gang, I don't know why. I mean, I know you love it, Prescott, but the majority, like, I don't see you ever going back to a Sparrow. The majority of the community after this, like, it's bad. You could skip the whole raid section in what's the Frost one, the Beyond Light raid, where in the beginning you start off, and you got to go from remember you got to stay warm. Deepstone Crypt. You could skip the whole joint, go from pod to pod. The things people are doing, the Prophecy Dungeon, skip that whole Sparrow racing section.
I did that.
Yeah, this is Teaser Teddy doesn't think so. SRL is
never coming back. Now that Skimmers exist, yeah, you're never getting that.
Yeah, it's
Skimmer Racing League.
Skimmer Racing League.
They could even keep the SRL. Skimmer Racing League.
But I was very impressed. I didn't think it was the thing I needed, and I was gonna love it so much. It really does.
Oh no, that's one of the. I mean, you said it before the show. Break glass in case of emergency. Because what is the Skimmer in the Eververse themed after, sir?
Oh, the Galahorn. You know, when all hell fails loose, you gotta get that Galahorn.
The Galler Sparrow, whatever it's called. I'm trying to look up the name. Oh, and then the armor sets that go with it. How good do those look?
Beautiful.
Especially for you with your like red and gold and like that literally speaks to COG.
Yes.
We can agree we're never going to get SRL back.
Oh yeah.
I think it's over.
But do you think we'll ever get like an arena where you have to do tricks to get a score like Tony Hawk Pro Skater?
They should put a half pipe in the farm. Are you kidding?
I'm just saying, do you ever think we'll be listening to ska as we grind and do kickflips and try to meet a certain score threshold? Do you think we'll be collecting VHS tapes as we jump over half pipes?
If they do that, that would be fantastic, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. It would only work if Activision were still publishing Destiny. If that were the case, man.
Yeah, you could do it then.
It'd
be great.
Yeah. So we got to there's 3 ways to get it, right? There's the
it's like you got
medals.
Yep.
But then it's the top 10%, right? And then the
one none of us are gonna get,
which I thought was very interesting. Is that
none of us are gonna get that once? None of us are gonna satisfy that third requirement.
Get what?
The winning featured packages, because none of us are gonna win any of these featured events.
Oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna win.
No, it's a whole team effort, and every time I check the featured event score, it's like Hunters 27 million, Titans 8 million, Warlocks 12 million. Like the Hunters, it's not even close.
The Hunters are
not even close.
Why do you think that is? Do you think that the Hunters are the only ones still playing Destiny?
I knew this was coming. I was waiting for this part.
No,
actual question.
No, I think it's because the Hunters probably still play a decent amount of PvP. So if they do like the game, they've probably been playing PvP and still do. Anybody who does more PvE type stuff, I would imagine, is an even spread of classes, because I think Hunters typically do lean more PvP as a class in general. So your Warlocks and your Titans
too, though.
I would probably say it tips to Hunters, but that would be a guess, because the people who still enjoy PvP and play it and now here for the sandbox stuff, people who've done Guardian games before and they're like, yeah, I got my Skimmer once, it's fine, and then I'm out. Everybody else is still here for PvP, and that probably leans Hunters, but they're still probably doing just a little bit of everything else. That's a guess. I have no idea. I'm making it up.
I'm just pointing out the game is at its lowest recorded, player base.
I can't.
And Hunters are smashing. And so I'm wondering, is there something about Hunters? Are they keeping this game alive secretly?
I mean, it could.
They might be the dedicated ones.
Yeah, it could be
possible.
True. I remember what was the famous wrestler who we was there for games, GCX. I think it was around the time we met Mola for the first time. It was was it the Big Show? I believe he was around.
Big Show. Yeah.
Bro, he was popping off. I didn't know he was. I assumed he would be a Titan. He was Hunters are the most skilled class. And I'm telling you, the Destiny's carried by. Like, he was going in his whole Hunter diatribe about why they are the definitive class and keep Destiny alive. I don't know, man. We got to see. But I know Titans are upset. Us Warlock Delegation, we always in the middle. You know what I'm saying? We kind of just watch y'all, see how this thing's playing out. And we're used to Titan favoritism. So there's a part of me that's like, really genuinely surprised by this because I thought the Titans would take it. I'm like, all right, Titans playing, they might go all out on this one. But yeah, hunters are outside, man. This is your time to showcase and show
so
off.
It's like, so if you want because you get a white hoverboard, like common level item, and then to turn it to exotic, you have to do one of those 3 requirements. If you're a hunter, just check the featured time, do one of the activities, and hang out because you're gonna get that winning package. And when you get the winning package, I had to ask what it was. It fills your bronze, fills your silver, so it fills your gold, and fills your platinum medals. It's worth 75 medal points.
Oh wow!
Which thing is
the winning package? So if like your class wins the event and you participated and you do one more, you get 75 medallions worth of just being part of it.
Yeah,
and we're over here getting a gold worth 3. If you get to even tier 3, that is.
Yeah,
crazy.
Crazy.
Well, I have my own theory of why hunters are trying so hard this year.
Oh dear.
I think that they are convinced that if they win, Father Cade will come home with the milk finally. You know, like how people with like abandonment issues work extra hard because they think if they just were a little bit better, then their dad would come home. And the funny thing is,
and this has been 5
they're
minutes
right.
with Travis.
Yes,
it's going to happen. We know that it's going to happen because of Final Shape. So canonically, it actually works.
It's a lot of them. Yeah, I mean,
so I hate to say it, but I am Team Hunter this year.
How you Team Hunter? Dad's got
I'm Team Hunter. I'm Team Hunter this year.
He's doing it.
Sorry,
he's doing
guys.
it for Cade. He's doing it for Cade.
I'm switching to a hunter to bring this podcast equilibrium.
I have to switch to a hunter. Don't worry. I'm gonna switch to hunter for Final Shape because I have to for my charity thing.
Oh, you're right. You got to play hunter.
Because you lost?
No, because I raised over 5,000. That was my stretch goal for 5,000. I was like, if I get to 5,000 raised total, I will play hunter for Final Shape. And I'm like, because I got 5,700 total raised for Game to Give.
That's gonna be weird to see.
And I'm gonna be playing a hunter full. So I think Into the Light will actually be a good time for me to really spend some time with my hunter, figure out what's going on, and like kind of brush up on everything. Because I gotta probably farm some exotics that I don't have, finish up probably a campaign at some point. Yeah. There's some stuff I haven't done with my hunter, so it's gonna be.
Pay attention to these Into the Light rumors. I think Tassie was talking about
possible weapons coming back.
Yeah, some black armor.
I mean, that's kind of the other in case of emergency thing. My brother wants black armory weapons to come back, and my brother gave up a while ago. But he, what was it? Blast Furnace, Hammerhead, True. What's the hand cannon that did? What was it? Kill Clip and Rampage.
Something Orchid.
Oh, Kindled Orchid.
Those weapons were cool, but I feel the need to remind everybody that was a pretty bad season of Destiny.
Oh, the content was terrible.
Content was throw balls. But Blast Furnace is still one of my favorite pulse rifles. Now, if you got an origin trade on that, I'm like, get me back to my... that replaces my Go Figure, because it doesn't seem like I'm ever going to get that.
And I love the new perk pool?
Yeah, because it was solar. So if you get like, give me an incandescent... What else do I want on there?
I thought it was kinetic.
Oh, Blast Furnace might have been kinetic. That's right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Well, then make it something fun for me then, because kinetic is less entertaining.
When does it make you pledge which class you're going to be a part of?
I think literally when you logged in first.
I
think or when you talk to Eva Levante. I saw it go like really fast, and I was like, well, I knew I'm Titan. I'm like, you pledged Titan. I'm like, cool. I don't quite know what triggered it though. The auto was solar. That's right. The pulse was kinetic. You're right.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I know I used to always tease you about your, the dad bod pulse rifles that I used to associate you with. That you tried and true. Blast Furnace was that was my favorite weapon of your loadout back in the day. Yeah. I used to love that weapon. Shout out to Teddy. He's like, that's a in case of emergency breakout black armory weapons. Yeah, I'm with it, man.
That's exactly what that is. Yeah, I mean, you see, of those weapons that I've heard about, but that's all speculation, rumors until they tell us. Like, if they're doing that as an influx to get more players back, they're pulling out a lot of stops to try and keep that population. I mean, right now you can log in every week and get 700 free Bright Dust. They got hoverboards in the game. They got Gallowhorn hoverboard and Gallowhorn armor,
which I'm going to buy eventually.
That alone is trying to pull some people back in this week. Now, I don't know how many more for the next couple of weeks of Guardian games you're going to get. Like, once people kind of cash in with those, we'll see. But I checked the Steam numbers.
How's it
peaked at
looking?
like 75K
Are we coming back?
yesterday or like Tuesday or
Okay.
Wednesday. That's the highest it's been since
Been in a minute.
since while.
And I will admit, I caught myself doing the Twitch stream 2-hour thing,
Oh,
which
for
is
the
part of
diamond
one of the
one?
requirements for the diamond medal, which is again an easy way to farm engagement and
Yep.
excitement back to the game.
Yep.
Because it's easy. It's like you literally, I just had my phone
Yeah.
open and I was like playing Destiny and I had somebody's Twitch stream going. I
Oh,
shout
yeah.
out to Warlock, whoever it was, and that was an easy diamond thing. And then they're doing the thing with they all
Can
kind of
somebody
smart in the
confirm
way
to
they
me
handle
how
it.
many points a diamond medallion is worth? I heard it was like 300. And if that's the case, you could literally watch 2 hours of a Twitch stream once a week, and that'd be 900 points, and you only need 1,200 for the hoverboard. So if you do a little bit of like playing over the
300,
course,
it.
okay, 300, seeing that. So yeah, 300, 300, 300. You get 1 diamond medal a week. If you get 900 points from those hours that you leave Twitch on in the background somewhere, you need 300 medallions, which is not much in the grand scheme of.
Or you can buy it with real money, is my understanding.
You can buy the Yellowhorn one with real money. That one's an Eververse.
You can get the Yalla.
You can get the Yellowhorn Sparrow, and then there's also like an armor set as well sitting out there. So there's a way to buy a skimmer.
It's not a skimmer.
No, it is a skimmer.
It is.
It's a Yellowhorn skimmer.
Straight buy it.
So you could just straight buy it, or you could spend dozens of hours of your life trying to get the.
Well, I mean, or you can literally just like go in on Tuesday, get the top 10% in the Nightfall. I had mine done really fast. Like,
oh, easy, yeah, just get the top 10% in the Nightfall. No problem there.
Most people,
so easy.
No,
so
I
easy.
will tell you, if you go into matchmaking, most people don't know what the hell they're doing. So if you like try once early on in a week, you'll probably get it. That's all I'm saying. Most people won't.
To Travis's point, the blueberries keep killing the damn champions before I can emote. They know
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They suck.
Yeah, they're not coordinated with it. But damn, I lost my thought. It was something else I was gonna take besides the engagement with the Oh, there is a shader locked behind that paywall.
I did see that, I think, too.
I don't like shaders locked behind. It's like when you can't get anywhere else separately. That's part of this package kind of thing. I've been noticing that. But anyway, continue.
Yeah, I mean, they got to give you a little extra
reviewing
bonus
the final shape, by the way.
Oh, you got it?
Nice.
Oh, they need that. They need that. We need that brutal honesty on that. That's what I'm talking about.
They sent me the collector's edition. Bungie was very nice.
You got the tower in the gram. Oh, you're not allowed to show that. All right, we'll talk offline. Just joking. Just joking. That's what's up, though. But it's good that you get a chance to, because I know if you put it through its paces, we're going to get that real on what it is.
Yeah.
So that's what's up. Salute to
Travis
you
is
on
a
your
fair
Nightfall.
critic.
He's very fair. He's very fair, y'all. Tease and Teddy did soon date
feels that way too.
Yeah, Into the Light, early April is what I heard.
Definitely.
Teddy said probably April 9th by the weeks. They'll probably, because what Guardian games will go on for 3 weeks, then you have Iron Banner, and then things will happen after that. So.
Into the Light is that new kind of halfway season.
Yeah, trying to get old and new players back in the game for some reason. You know,
for some reason.
Well, no, I know, like to lead into Final Shape, yes, but I've heard crazy rumors. I mean, people are shooting for the moon. People are like, "Oh, they're going to bring back the Red War campaign." I'm like, "Oh man, dude, you are shooting way too far with that one." Yeah, I was like, I don't. The hopes of what Into the Light is are way out there. I was like, I would not expect more. If they did anything, I could expect maybe 1 or 2 more of those like historic missions that they bring back, kind of for the timeline. I'm not expecting. Here's a full campaign playthrough or campaign playthrough. Can't talk.
Good.
Campaign playthrough. There's no way. If they do that, I'm gonna be floored. But no, there's no freaking way.
The interesting thing about Into the Light is they're also saying that the aim is to bring in new players as well. And I'm dying to know how they're gonna do that.
You and me both.
Like I thought that was interesting that that's one of the bullet points for.
Oh yeah, no, like Shadow. If you guys watch Shadow Destiny, if you've watched Destiny videos, you've probably seen one of his. We had him on the show. He's literally like got a friend. He's playing through a brand new person in, just kind of like Travis had his buddies, but he's working on a video for it as well. Just what the experience is like between the pop-ups and the confusion. And then I think Jez had his wife play. He usually does comedy stuff, and he had her play. And she played for like 2 days. You know, she doesn't game, so she was struggling with a whole bunch of different stuff, just even video game stuff that we naturally figure out. It was like the third day, all of a sudden it had pop-ups about abilities and other stuff came in on the third day of playing. It is just not a streamlined experience. The Jezza video is like an hour long, but it is hilarious, but also points out so many things that are wrong. Like so many things that doesn't tell you. If you're not a gamer, first off, but if you don't just have somebody guiding you through, there's so much the game doesn't tell you. But it is quite funny to listen to.
Yeah. The new player experience is just so funny. So I mean, again, kudos for them to even acknowledge and attempt. So we'll see how that works out for them.
I gotta know what they're gonna do because there's, I don't know. You would need to make a fresh account, but you need fresh eyes on it. That's why a couple of these experiments that people are doing are important, because if you don't have fresh eyes, we all know way too much. You can't be like, well, you didn't tell me this here, you didn't tell me this here. There's stuff that we wouldn't even think about. We don't know. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
On top of the fact that you don't know what's happening in the story.
Yes, that too.
And then I think Bife put out a video that he was saying it's like they really need to work on the story for Final Shape, keeping the story around from this entire year. The fact that Lightfall.
I wonder why he says that.
No reason.
Yeah, you got a good video. You got a good video about that one.
Wonder what his issue is.
I am curious though, because I mean, yeah, we'll get a pop for Guardian games. You got a hoverboard, you're gonna get a few people in for sure. But then that'll slide off pretty fast as soon as people kind of get their hoverboard, get a couple weapon drops, and get out. Go through this month, you'll have probably one more Iron Banner. We'll see what Into the Light is.
Right.
It was kind of, I was like, it was kind of thrown on them, so that's why my expectations are real low. I mean, Guardian games had a little planning. This did. Fair. This probably had less. So whatever they can kind of hamstring together, we'll see. And then it's going to be April and May of whatever Into the Light is to get us into Final Shape, which will be supposedly still June 4th. And then if they keep their schedule, it's 2 weeks later. They were saying after 2 weeks or whatever, they were going to drop the first episode. Gives them a chance to drop the raid on day 11 or whatever and do that. And you'll have the Lightfall campaign for 2 weeks. And then the first episode that is after the events of Final Shape. And then 3 days after that, everybody's going to leave and go play Shadow of the Erdtree.
Yeah, they got a lot riding in. I mean, look, you know, I'll give them a little credit for this right now. Look, slight peak of interest, but it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot. They're going to have to be the most creative they've ever been to try to garner engagement, and then of course nail Final Shape. But I am curious. I'm just curious about what the hell could they come up with Into the Light in a 6-month window. I'm very curious what that content is.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, so Guardian games, you got Supremacy, strike scoring. Nobody understands how to get the strike scoring. You got medallions. Oh, one of the best things you can do if you really don't want to think about, if you like have a podcast or a series you want to episode and kind of like brainless it, get the raid, but it's also /dungeon medallion. And it's just killing enemies in a raid or dungeon. If you complete encounters, it's better. Go set at the part. Grasp of Avarice. You know exactly what I'm saying. Baby. And you can just sit there and plink them from far away with a scout rifle or something. And then I didn't time it, but not that bad. Now, granted, I will tell you, I soloed Prophecy, however long it took me to do it while I was on stream. Being as you're killing and doing encounters, I finished an encounter, killed a few guys, and then I went to go get another medallion, which you can get your medallions on. Like, they're basically bounties. You can get them through the app, so you can use it on your phone, so you don't have to go back. But yeah, I went through there and I finished it 3 times in my one run. So that actually wasn't bad. So 3 platinums just from one Prophecy run. Right. Now, granted, that's because I was killing everything, so I got all the kills.
Yeah, I got to remember to go in there solo just to maximize it.
But yeah, Grasp, if you don't want to think about it, just sit there and shoot until you're done. It's going to be kind of quick.
Nice.
Do your chores.
Yes, that would feel like a chore.
Activity, mindlessly shoot until you complete the activity.
Shoot into the loot cave.
To the cave, baby.
Speaking of loot caves, Travis, didn't that come up with you recently?
It did. I wanted to give a shout out. So, for those who don't know, dear listeners, I have 2 full-time jobs. And my other job is I work at small tech startups and I help them grow. And then when they get like 30 or 40 employees, I leave because I don't like working for large companies. And sometimes people try to sell me things. And a lot of times when they try to sell me things, they go to my LinkedIn and they see that I do IGN work. And so their way of selling me is sometimes they'll try to sell me something by referencing video games. And sometimes you can tell that they play video games because they'll be pretty hard in the paint. And other times they'll just be like, you know what else is a game? Is, you know, and like they'll try to like tie it together with some stupid thing they're trying to sell me. But I got a message recently that I thought was very funny on LinkedIn from a guy named Eric, and the title of the message was "The Loot Cave, Gallarhorn, and Pipeline." And the message reads, "Hey Travis, doing my research on your company, and I came across your LinkedIn and socials and saw you're an IGN contributor and a Destiny 2 junkie. Think of your website like the Loot Cave. Real OGs know. There is a ton of potential leads to farm if your marketers always have their sights on who's visiting. You need something OP like the Gallarhorn to capture high-value prospects into your pipeline." And it goes on, but basically, this guy is a Destiny player, and he used his honestly pretty impressive Destiny knowledge to try to sell me his lead generation. But it made me laugh, and I thought I would share it because I get messages like this pretty often, but this one just hit at the right time. I got it today right before we were about to do the show, and I was like, you know what? I should read this because it's kind of hilarious. Yeah, they really put some effort into it, and I did respond to this guy because of his research. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna talk to this guy, see what's up.
He's hardcore. He OG with it. Salute.
Thank you for letting me share that, Ebontis. But yeah, that one tickled me because it's just the metaphor is very funny.
Very good.
No, he leaned into it hard. That's why I wanted you to share it because
he also positioned his product or his company as the Gallarhorn of lead generation, which is, you know,
if you're gonna sell, you're going for the top.
Claim. Yep. Certainly a claim, guys.
Certainly a claim. Yeah.
Gotta respect it.
Yeah, it was good.
Funny. I love it. Boy, shot his shot. You gotta respect it. And he did his research.
Yeah, if anybody's ever done sales for any ever reason in their entire life, I was like, I respect that one. Like I did telemarketing for one summer. Brutal. Like, no, it was business to business. Thank God it wasn't consumer. And it still wasn't great, but it was at least like something that didn't totally suck. It was like long distance for business customers, but at the time it actually was a reasonable deal. And the other side of like the cubicle room, they were selling cell phone service that was so like patchy on the map. It was just awful. But on the business one, it's just like long distance. That was a reasonable deal. So it was like, I did okay. But man, if I was trying to sell something that was just a piece of crap, I could never. Yeah. I would be so bad at trying to sell trash.
That's rough.
I don't know. You try to get people to play Destiny.
We go telemarketing now.
I actually so like there was a point. I mean, granted, here you go for your you guys give me the whole Texas upbringing, privileged lifestyle here because
I'm very excited.
No, this is one of those. You guys give me crap all the time, but I can't say anything because I very much had a sheltered upbringing, no question. But in our neighborhood, like in our whatever it was, middle school or something like that, I can't remember. It's like here's like a pamphlet of a bunch of different goods that you can sell, and the more of them you can sell, you know, you would get like prizes for doing that type of stuff. So like kind of like
I'm familiar.
Yeah, but I was like, so I walked around our neighborhood though. And that was one where it was like, I was bound and determined to win this thing. And I was like going every house to house. I covered way too much ground. I ended up actually winning the whole thing whenever I did it. But
I can see this.
Yeah, I was
really?
Yeah, actually.
Look at you, dude. That's great. How many guns did you get pointed at you during this door-to-door knocking job?
So in the world of sheltered area that I did live at the time, it was not really a big risk in this area. So, so I had a pretty easy...
Yeah.
Pretty easy.
Also,
going.
You're older. I feel like it wasn't as bad back then. That's too bad.
Yeah, it was a different time, different place. No, if I kind of explained the area of where it is, you would be like, oh, yeah. You'd be fine.
That's funny.
By the way, that isn't that bad of a sheltered upbringing. I feel like everybody had to do that. I did the door.
No, I just mean the city I grew up in was. So the city I grew up in, as it was, they were developing and using all the different pieces of the town, and there's like one main highway and outlook's completely different. There was a Walmart within the city limits, and it was just like towards the front as you got towards the highway. At some point, they kicked the Walmart out of the town. Now, Walmart, in amazing fashion, which I found hilarious. So here's the city, here's the next city. They put it right on the border. So if you still want to get your stuff, you can come here, but we're going to pay our taxes to this other city as opposed to you. Right. And I was like, y'all are idiots. Yeah. So yeah, that was the type of city I grew up in. So
yeah, Walmart has been banned from San Francisco for many years.
Really?
Because of their labor practices. Yeah. But yeah. I was expecting something way worse, though, when you said, speaking of my sheltered childhood. I thought you were going to be like, I remember as a child, I would come home and the silver hadn't been polished before dinner.
Okay, I will tell you, I did not have that kind of upbringing. There's a difference. Like, I had a sheltered, I didn't have to, worry about a whole lot of anything growing up. It's like, I can tell you that. I did not have that. I did not have royalty upbringing.
Have you ever had to use an unpolished fork for dinner? You don't understand my troubles, my tribulations.
The tribulations. The voice fits too, but that is not okay. So I'm in between, not great and that. I'm somewhere in the middle. How's that?
In the middle. Okay. Yeah. You're not there.
I'm not quite. Yeah, that's a whole.
You go look at me like, will you please pass the jelly? I go get looked at funny in that commercial.
Pardon me. Do you have any Grey Poupon?
Grey Poupon. Banana all fruit.
I remember I spent an entire summer with. My maid had gone on holiday.
The nerve, the terror.
I love Teddy. Fork, wasn't he just fed by his personal butler?
Fork, yeah.
I'm done.
My life dullied with the sheen of a spotted butter knife. Thank you, Prescott, the writer. Appreciate the writer coming in there with the proper word usage.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I'm going to write fanfic.
I may have a sheltered upbringing, but no posh. Yeah, so I didn't have to worry about too much, but I wasn't sitting in royalty either. So it's
Yeah. No, his father was an oil baron, so it was a different type of posh, It was
my father was actually in sales, so it was technology.
He owned a NASCAR team. But that was,
I would have actually loved to have been in racing growing up, man. That would have been cool.
Backstories for Ian is wild.
I
am so glad you were okay. Honestly, I would love to have had both of you guys at my wedding when I got married, but I'm also glad you weren't there, Travis, because he would have taken the mic and never let it go. There wasn't even a mic. He just would have stood up.
An impromptu roast session at your wedding.
I do not take the mic unless it's time. We're on a show. This is show business. But if we're actually at a thing, I've had people be like, Travis, go ahead, roast me. And I've been like, you don't want me to do that. Trust me. I will refuse the mic if the situation is not appropriate enough. But do you guys remember the first time you ever had me on this show? I came up with a backstory for E that he was wearing cowboy boots, leaving a Target or something like that. I can't remember what the thing was. I
never put on a pair of cowboy boots in my life.
Yeah, and I called you Dallas too. I kept calling you Dallas during that show. I remember that.
You've got more.
And that was the first time I'd ever met E. I'd never interacted with him before.
I was like, "Hey, this guy's Destiny. Do you want to come on the show?" What have I done? What have I done?
I remember that. Hilarious.
Mistakes
were
made.
But I'd never talked to E before, and I was just like, "I'm just gonna trash this guy on his own show. That'll be good. It'll be a good way to network."
Oh yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
bonding.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Good times.
Good times, boys.
Okay, well, I gotta ask both of you guys: are either of you looking forward to Dragon's Dogma or Rise of the Ronin? Are either of those hype games for you guys? Both, maybe. Which one's first?
I was gonna review Rise of Ronin, but they put me on the South Park game, so I almost ended up doing that.
That is IGN, of course, is gonna get access to that one, no question. But I will tell you from the outside perspective, trying to crack the nut that is PlayStation, good luck. It is hard to do, or you are a massive creator.
PlayStation is pretty protective of their review process. So.
The walled garden is it carries over into other aspects too.
That's true. That is very
true. Very true.
Yeah, they. So I was going to review that, but that honestly, that one doesn't strike me that much, just because I like Souls likes, but I'm kind of over the samurai thing. We've just seen it so many times.
So many times.
And also we've also seen samurai Souls likes not that long ago. You know what I mean? Like
Ghost of Tsushima set the bar high, and now that PC port's coming out and from Nixxes, that's going to look pretty. I will tell you guys the one piece of like
I don't think they set the bar, by the way. I think they're still behind the bar of Sekiro, but
Sekiro, yeah, too.
Which is yet another samurai like Souls
different though.
Ghost of Tsushima, I don't consider it a Souls like though, right? You consider it a Souls like?
Kind of Souls likey
action. I mean, when you put it on,
if I beat it, it ain't no Souls.
Well, yeah, I mean, okay, I played it on Brutal, which I actually loved, by the way. It was punishing.
You did play it on Brutal. Yeah,
like Brutal was fun, but it also like if you have a sword and you go, shing, dude's dead. As he should be, not just like, here's a spongy health guy with a big sword that I'm wailing away at his organs. It's like, no, one, done. But also, it's risky for you. But I actually love that difficulty on Ghost of Tsushima. I never played the expansion, Iki, I think it was.
Yeah, Iki Island.
But no, that one, the one
Dragon's Dogma definitely though.
Dragons looks massive. It looks like that game you could spend 100 hours in just. Because some of the stuff I've seen, like IG and you guys have had some coverage, and I've seen one or two where people are just playing along, they're hanging out at their camp. All of a sudden, a big griffin comes down in the middle of your sleeping, and then you got to start attacking them. And then there's two ogres that come over, and they get in the middle of the fight, and then the ogres are fighting the griffin. You're standing there watching, going, they're all bigger than me, but I can at least watch them wail the crap out of each other. It's like, it looks really, really cool. I didn't play the first one, but the whole pawn system, trading the experiences, like they go off and help other people and they bring that experience and knowledge back. I really, really, really want to play that one. Like every time I see more in that game, I'm like, I want to play it. And some of the subclasses, like the Mystic Spear Hand and the bow, the Mystic Archer, look so cool. Like that game is a 100-hour game probably for me. I feel like it's that big.
Easily. It'll probably be easily 100 hours.
That's my worry though, is depending on, cross your fingers if I can try and play that one early to try and do coverage and guides and stuff.
That one should be easier. That one should be easier.
I mean, I've reached out where I can, so everybody just cross your fingers, because I've thrown my hat in every ring possible that I can in that world, so I'm trying.
Shot, baby.
My hope, because it's so much bigger, to play that one early, because then actually I think Ronin would be a good one to stream. Because I feel like one could play before, work on guides and builds and that stuff, and the other one would be a good streaming one, and then I could kind of work on content as I play it live. That's my hope. If I get neither and I'm playing them both live, I'm starting with Dragon's Dogma. I think I have to.
Dogma, yeah.
It looks so cool. It just, I don't know. I know the old one is not a big like seller or anything, but kind of turned into a cult thing that I've heard. Most people really like it.
So he is down for both of these games. I'm more down for one than the other. How about you, Doug?
Where are you landing?
I hope he's like, I'm not down for either.
I think Ronin I might have sold you on once or twice, actually.
Ronin got my attention, but it just, again, so I was like,
well, okay, here's the thing on Ronin. Remember I told you got difficulty options in Ronin, which they haven't done before.
Yeah, but I feel like it's sacrilegious for me to put the difficulty down on a Souls-like game.
I
leave it at its default difficulty.
I have a different respect for that after playing Prince of Persia. The way they had the choice of how to do the sliders in that one. And I liked the variability of what you could do, but it was when you go on normal difficulty and then when you went to one above, I didn't go all the way to Immortal, but if you go one above, it was the damage to you was the same, but I think the enemy health was a little more, and then you didn't get your abilities back quite as fast, so it was a little bit of a balance. You could punish the crap out of yourself if you wanted to, but you could also make it to where certain things were more advantageous in your way. I really actually love the difficulty system in Prince of Persia. I am kind of sad that game got lost in Pal World and a couple of other things, because I saw it got like 300,000 sales, which is not small, but it's not. It was so much better. It was so much better than it got the recognition for. It was really, really good.
So many games right now. No, I hear you. I guess for me, the difficulty thing, I always like to respect the developer's initial intention.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm being extra to alter it a little bit.
But I mean, in your sake, if you want to experience, you'd love that world.
Yes, I do.
So I mean, so if you want to experience the story, have some fun with the combat and adventure in, all of that area, I feel like they give you the option.
Yeah, I got my eye on it. Don't get me wrong. It's one of those things that I got to see how the reviews do as we get closer. Then schedule wise, if it fits, I might. but I'm not. I don't want to overcommit. Like, yes, I'm definitely doing it.
Is Dragon's Dogma talking to you?
That has my eye. Maddie
Okay.
really showed me on that. I like the mechanics, the way he told me the first game was, and he just said, obviously it's a bit janky, as far as going back to it now. But I remember when I first saw Dragon Dogma 2, it had that look like, oh, you got potential that you could be something special this year. So I have my eye. Now that we see in the
just believe in yourself.
Yeah, my gut feels like that might be the big game of the year. Like that may be one of them, right? So
it's going to be for sure. Yeah, it'll get nominated at the very least.
And my gut was right because your guys' coverage, everyone's coverage is like, yo, it's one of them. So now I'm like, okay.
It's also very interesting in that it's the sequel to a game that was extremely good, but very underrated for some reason. I feel like it didn't sell well. I don't know a lot of people have played it. It kind of reminds me of the original Borderlands versus Borderlands 2. I think this is going to be their Borderlands 2 moment.
And yeah, I'm in this Capcom bag lately too. So yeah, I'm in.
And I guess you should start playing the Ace Attorney games.
Yo, I started. Get the funny thing. I was about to start it, and I was scolded by Maddie. How dare I play those? Be interested unless you play Danganronpa, which is the superior game. So I was.
Danganronpa is way worse.
I need you to tell him that. I need to record this.
I will tell him that Danganronpa is way worse, and I can explain why.
Way worse than what?
This is the drama.
Than Ace Attorney.
Oh,
bro,
it's like not even close.
Bro,
we need to have Maddie on just because I want to sit here with the popcorn.
Bro, this is how it all started, Trav. It was a Nintendo Direct, right? We're just reviewing it, and I'm like, yo, there was this game called Ace Attorney. It looked really, really cool. And the guy, objection. I was like, oh, that looked fun. It looked like a lawyer game, something I would be interested in checking out. Just the art style looked cool. Oh, I can't believe you. And I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, that is no one, should even result to that. He kind of, I want to frame him correctly. It was kind of like, oh, the casuals know about that, but the real ones play Danganronpa. That's how he sold it to me. And he was like, don't even disrespect yourself by even attempting to play Ace Attorney. And I was literally forced to play this game for Divided Duke.
First of all,
all right,
Danganronpa wouldn't exist without Ace Attorney. It's so based off of Ace. It's so based off of Ace Attorney that they actually directly reference it in the games. So it's like, if you're gonna stand on the shoulders of giants and then look at those giants and be like, oh, they ain't shit, it's gonna be like, all right, well, remember whose shoulders you're standing on, bitch. That's what I gotta say to that one. And also, when it comes to localization and writing, the localization and writing in Ace Attorney is, I think it's probably the best localized game ever to come out of Japan. It's so good that, in fact, people who are in Japan and speak Japanese as their native language prefer the English version a lot of times because they had to make changes to the world building to make some of the stuff make sense in the backstory, and it takes place in LA canonically and all that stuff. That it actually ends up being like benefiting from it. I don't know who does the localization for that team, but they should do like everything, because it even makes stuff like Infinite Wealth, which I love, but it make a lot of the localization needs work in that game. They have like it's like really overwritten. It has stuff like that, which there's some of that in Ace Attorney, but it's nowhere near that level. And then just in terms of like a story that makes sense and doesn't do like random ass pulls, like everything that happens in Ace Attorney feels
that's a phrase. Sorry.
Random ass
you've never heard that? An ass pull, like you pulled it out of your ass.
That phrase like I've heard. The other one I hadn't. That's all.
The twists that happen in Danganronpa are so out of pocket and so unearned that they're just as likely to make you roll your eyes and like scoff as they are to make you like impressed that they pulled off that twist. Like a lot of them are just like, oh, come on, are you joking, really? Like it's like stuff like that. But when you get to the twist in Ace Attorney, you're like, oh, that's clever. I didn't see that coming, but they totally set it up. They do a lot of better foundational setup.
I think it's still in Game Pass, and I think I'm up next week, for Game Pass pick of the week. I think I'm gonna
Ace Attorney.
I'm gonna make it my Game Pass pick of the week.
Yeah, it just means Travis is going to be on Duke with you the following week. That's all that means.
I'll show up. I will show up to defend Ace Attorney. I mean, I get why people like Danganronpa because it's edgier and darker, and it's kind of like the oh, fewer people know about it, so it must be cooler. It's like, okay, in some cases, the other game is more popular because it is just a better game. Which is definitely the case
I'm gonna start trouble.
in this case.
Oh yeah,
So,
it's Capcom Butters. Okay, Capcom Butters. Yeah.
That's gonna be fun to listen to hear about.
Yeah, the original trilogy is great, Cog, but it is a little bit slow, and it has, especially 2 and 3, they have some gameplay decisions that are a little weird. But once you get through those games, which are completely enjoyable even with their flaws, the new ones they cut through all the garbage and really focus in on story, and they fix a lot of the kind of annoyances of the old games. And they for my money, the Ace Attorney series is one of the maybe the best story in gaming, in my opinion, the best ongoing story. It's just so good. I've been wanting to hear what happens next for a really long time. And if you do need to be sold on the games for the writing, before you play any of the Ace Attorney games, you could actually play his game, the creator's game, right before Ace Attorney, which is also on Game Pass. It's called Ghost Trick. Ghost Trick. And that game you can beat in like 2 or 3 hours, probably. I'm overselling that. It might be a little bit longer, but it's like a puzzle game you can beat pretty quick. And that story is so well written and good and full of surprises and really memorable moments that if that game jives with you, then I can say, all right, well, then invest in all of the Ace Attorney games because they're absolutely worth it.
Yes,
but yeah, Ghost Trick just got Teddy's saying in the comments, it just got kind of remastered and it's on modern consoles. So
nice,
absolutely worth checking that one out.
I'll check them out. I'm gonna start trouble next week. I'm playing.
Somebody's saying Ace Attorney has nothing on the payoff of Danganronpa V3.
Oh, yeah, Danganronpa gang.
I think he's confusing payoff with the kind of M. Night Shyamalan-esque twists, which I will admit the twists in Danganronpa are bigger. I just don't think that they're earned.
Okay,
to be honest. And also you have to spend a lot of time in like the pessimistic kind of edgelordian world of Danganronpa that is
that sounds like Maddie's world though. That does.
It's very like depressing. It's like very depressing and like, oh, society's messed up, so maybe a bunch of kids killing each other really isn't so bad. And it's like, all right, dude, come on. Whereas Ace Attorney is like shamelessly wholesome as hell. Like it's just very wholesome, and it deals with death and there's murders and betrayals and stuff, but like it's about friendship. It's like a typical anime, story. Very cool.
I was start trouble. I can't.
Speaking of twists, I was going to ask you guys. I don't know why it made me think of it because you're saying attorney and everything else that happened. Have you guys ever seen the movie Fracture? It's Ryan Gosling and Anthony Hopkins.
Okay.
Watch it sometime. Those are both cool dudes.
Yeah. You got Rosamund Pike in there as well. Go watch it. For a twist, I thought it was good. And Anthony Hopkins is always just damn good. But Fracture's
reliable.
Yeah, Fracture was a good movie. And it's just kind of one of those. I don't want to say too much because you got to watch it. But if you can find, I don't even know if it's streaming anywhere. It's so old at this point. But
Gosling. Okay, 2007. All right. We'll check it out.
2007. For some reason, the aughts were like the year people really started doing like twists a lot in their movies. Like I think from like 98 to like through the aughts, there were like really twist heavy movies. You ever notice that? And then they kind of died off, and now it's really just about like action and hugging people.
Direction for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of 2007, actually, like I don't think I ever finished it before, but I finally watched Sunshine. I forgot the cast in that movie is like kind of stacked. Because you got
Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
No, just Sunshine. It's a sci-fi one where it's like a sci-fi end of the world thing where they're trying to restart the sun. It's kind of a ridiculous premise if you think about it. But the actors in there there's just quite a few of them. It's got Wong from Doctor Strange. He's in there, and it's like 17 years ago, so all these guys are a lot thinner and stuff. It's got Chris Evans in there. Michelle Yeoh's in there. I know I'm forgetting people too. Quite a few, but Cillian Murphy's in there after just watching some stuff.
A movie's old when you're measuring its date by like people's body changes.
Oh, and no, it's weird because Wong in Doctor Strange, he's a little bigger, like he's filled out a bit, like as he's aged. But in this one, man, dude is not. He is like he's leaner. I don't know if he's yoked in this one, but No, he was leaner. But no, it's just I was like, damn. Forgot all those people were just. It's funny to find those movies. You ever watch an older movie and be like, all of you are doing different like famous things now, but you kind of had an earlier start and you catch them before.
Yeah, to kind of see them
like
catch them before they blew up.
Yeah, those are always fun to find. I feel like I'm missing Roseburn.
Yeah, like that.
That's
like
another
those
one
like those commercials for the Street Shark action figures that Vin Diesel did. Have you guys seen those?
I have not. That's hilarious. Sounds hilarious.
Oh, you guys should watch them. There's like these videos of Vin Diesel playing with Street Shark characters and just talking about how cool the Street Sharks are. And it's like,
now I finally figured out why I crossed this path, because it's got Hiroyuki Sanada, the guy in Shogun.
Got it.
I want to watch Shogun.
Seth
I have not started it yet. I need to.
Seth says Street Shark was the best.
He's right.
So,
Seth, you're on the money. Street Sharks. That theme song, dude. Goated theme song.
Street Shark. I'm gonna check this out.
Sunday morning cartoons, man. Gotta get your Street Shark in.
We had different cartoons growing up. Shogun is very good. I've only heard amazing stuff about it. I thought you might have watched it by now. Yeah, I need to. That's when I got to take my time, go upstairs, watch on the OLED with the lights off. I want the good viewing. I feel like we fell off the gaming podcast rails for my bad.
Yeah,
by the way, totally my
definitely off of the Destiny podcast rails a while ago. But
yeah, I mean,
it's okay.
At this point, yeah, Guardian games will hang out, but I mean, next week is still going to be the same.
Not a ton.
I mean,
it's still going to be slow until Final Shape. I think.
Like, there was
even after Into the Light.
Well, we talked about it because we talked about Guardian games. That's everything that was in there.
Every time they have an event, that's their entire TWID.
Yeah.
Wob.
But they even went over like, hey, you can collect the cards in the app. They even tweeted today about the whole emote finisher thing. They tweeted about the emote finisher thing, and I'm like, that's still
a lot of y'all don't
enough.
seem to know.
Yeah, because you don't tell them, and it's not obvious, and it's something we've never done any other time in the game. And I will say the annoying part about that is maybe something else after 3 years. Maybe another way to get like score the points or something. I don't know.
Oh, you're preaching to the choir here, E. You're preaching to the choir here.
Give me a different way to get medals besides the insult to injury emote and then finish. I'm like, I've been doing this for years. Come on. It's like
I know. One day we're getting there slowly. We got hoverboards though. We got skimmers.
Hoverboards are legit. I skipped the entire Sparrow section in Prophecy. I earned that's why I'm here. I earned my one. I don't have to buy one.
Nice.
That's all. That's why I'm here.
I'm impressed with myself that I've stayed strong and didn't just straight buy it just yet. Very impressed.
How long is that going to last?
The only reason you don't buy it right off the bat is because they give you a temporary one until you earn your full, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Because it lasts to the end of Guardian games.
The event. Exactly.
Yep.
And then you get to keep it if you... And the fact that they sold one means that they can't take it out of the game.
Which is the commitment to this play style. That's why I'm surprised. This is a very game-breaking kind of thing.
Very surprising. Yeah.
Interesting. What if any philosophy changes are happening?
Yeah, it looks like the previews are going out for Rise of the Ronin. Have fun, everybody. Enjoy.
I'm not jealous.
I'm 100% jealous, but still have fun. Bro, I'll be honest, man. Like, I was like, I know that PlayStation. I know that PlayStation bubble's hard to get into. Yeah, it's like I get it.
Bro, I literally felt that way as a person who's playing Tekken for 30 years.
Oh no, I know. I think you mentioned that one.
Content creators get it. Have fun. You're playing the preview version. That's awesome.
Yeah. Like, and that's kind of the thing. It's like no one has ever meant you are not like deserving of a code or any of that bullshit. I'm like, I get it. It's like I can throw my hat in the ring. I'm not big enough. I get it. It's totally fine. Doesn't mean I don't want to play it.
I'll get through it.
It's like, doesn't mean I don't want to play it right now, but that's fine. Especially this early, man. See, this is amazing timing. If you could actually get it early, like March 7th, I'm like, do you know how much time that would be for these two games that are stacked on top of each other? Yeah. Apparently, I got to work my way into an outlet.
We grinding. We're going to be Travis one day. One day, we're going to get there.
Yeah.
Do you actually want to work for an outlet, E?
Ooh.
Oh, I mean... I would be.
Is that your final destination? I thought you liked being solo.
Independent?
Would be an interesting discussion to understand, like, the differences for sure. Like, it would be. I'm not against it. It would just. I would be curious how that would make sense with the channel and everything. Like, because I know plenty of people still work in games and do channels, but it's also what you can and can't talk about and stuff like that. So it would be an interesting one, because do you do this, and if you cover this stuff for us, you can't put it on yours, but you can still do all of your stuff and keep them separate and you're fine. I would be open, but also on the other side,
it's basically like you just can't make personal content with any access that you got from whichever outlet you're from.
Yeah.
So like if they gave you a code to a game, you couldn't review it on IGN and then also review it on your own account. You'd have to,
Ooh,
Pin me into this chat when it happens. I have thoughts.
I don't have codes that rise of the Ronin.
Sorry, he spelled thoughts wrong.
There's Midnight down there. Say hi to Midnight, guys.
Oh, Midnight. Salute. It's my first time seeing Midnight actually pull up during stream.
Oh, he walks around my desk all the time. So.
Oh, okay. That's
he's over
I have yet to meet you, sir. I have yet to meet you.
He's our
nice
resident.
Xbox.
Yeah, like the white ears internally. We're feeling that.
Oh, that's all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
One less now, but
one less now.
Your dog is goofy looking.
Yep.
Buddy.
The Midnight. Salute.
Long snouted jackal, one and all.
I love it. Where's Enzo?
Enzo's passed out in the other room. He's chill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You have a dog named Enzo?
I do.
I have a friend named Enzo. So.
Okay.
Oh.
We named the dog Indiana.
Yeah. Shout out to 3 Geeks for $5. Hashtag dog noises. Hashtag dog tax.
There you go.
That's a new one. I think
that's supposed to be like Xbox tax. Like you get taxed because you have dogs. I don't know.
I'm not sure. You're gonna have to explain that.
Maybe he lives in a state where there is a tax for owning dogs.
That's one of the reasons my wife and I got a house, because we were looking at apartments to get together.
Oh yeah.
And trying to get an apartment with any certain breeds of dogs, you may as well just kiss your butt goodbye. So then we ended up. See, he's just chilling down here.
Mm-hmm.
He's just hanging.
Chilling.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He is hilarious.
Shout out to the Midnight.
He does parkour on our couch.
Are you serious? Oh wow. It's hilarious.
Poor couch.
It's pretty resilient so far. Shout out to the Lovesac Sactionals couches that you can buy, where you buy all the pieces and then you can kind of rearrange them. They're quite durable, I've learned from him, so I will vouch for their durability. They have held up to quite a bit. No, we got him at 9 months as a rescue, as opposed to the other ones we got at 6 weeks, where they were so small they didn't know they could get on a couch, and then we never let them. So Ryan Enzo never got on furniture. First thing he did, boom. And then we're like, get off, and he just kept thinking it was a game, and finally he won.
Wow, so he just purchased?
He just eventually broke. Oh yeah, I mean, no, I'll walk in there and he's just sacked out on the couch.
That's hilarious.
He is the cozy. I mean, I've posted a couple pics on Twitter, but he is the coziest looking dog sometimes.
It's a rough
life.
He's
just squishy face into the blanket. Yeah,
it's a rough life.
Oh yeah. We do our best to give him a pretty good life in here, but yeah, he keeps us on our toes and also enjoys screaming in husky fashion. It's fine. The balance.
That one of those?
Not so much like an actual not the stereotypical howl. It's actually much goofier than that. I can't really always. It's goofier.
Can you encourage it? Can you instigate it? Because some dogs you can if you make sounds while they do that.
We've done it a couple times, but they really don't. It's got to be something that gets them to do it. Whether it's they somehow they can know a dog is walking on the other side of the street out there. They just know it. And they'll go bark at the window or whatever and stuff like that. If you can hear a squirrel in our backyard on the fence, they'll go darting out the back door if it's open. But actually, the only thing I can get him to do, because they never do it, we'll play tug of war a little bit, but if I get kind of up in his face, I can get him to growl a little bit at me. And I was like, dude, that is the cutest growl. And he's like, I'm like, you are adorable, but you're not scary. Yeah.
Training. Gotta train him well.
That is literally the opposite of what I'm doing. He's just, I try and get the growl out of him. He normally won't do it, but it's rarely. Fun. Yeah.
It's fun.
Well, he's
dogs. We all know about them.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. We love them.
Well, this podcast, I think, has gone everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still under an hour and 45 minutes right now. So, in proper fashion, anything else to say before we wrap this thing up, gentlemen?
No, nice one. Nice little, little respite, little comeback for a second for a nice little event. We know it's going to be slow, but we got things to play. Nice little cool distraction, I thought. And I jump in, jump out, we get ready for the big stuff. But that's all that's going on with me.
Yeah, Hoverboard's a W. Try and
Yes.
fix the quality of life over the scoring, since that's like one of your things. And if it's the Hunter games of 2024, then so be it. All I got.
I'm not ready to accept that yet, but we're gonna let that.
I gave up. I gave up on the first day when I just saw the ratio. I was like, oh, this is not even close.
This is not even close, but
no,
we're just dealing with it right now.
All right. Well, for episode number 287, you guys know that means we have 13 to go to 300. So a couple months here.
Better start planning.
Gotta start planning something.
It's right around when the new games, when the final shape launches.
I have a guest in mind that I already reached out to. I just got to see if it's going to come together. I'll tell you guys after the show who it was. But other than that, thank you guys all. Enjoy your gaming, whatever game you are playing right now, whether it be Destiny, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Pacific Drive. Check it out. It's fun. Or little Metroidvanias that are all over the place. I was playing a demo for one called Biomorph. One of these, like, butter smooth demos I've played in a while, but also the concept's kind of cool for a Metroidvania, so kind of a fun one.
Yes.
All right, well,
our guest for the 300th episode should be Destin Legary, because he's like the angel of death for 300th episodes. You know,
we can have him on for 301, because if we do it at 300, I'm afraid.
No, 300. Let's get him here, and then we know that's going to be the last episode, no matter what happens.
I have questions. I mean, unless you're just trying to be done with the podcast, if that's how you want to go out, then you got to let me know in advance.
It's like being in a hospital bed and seeing John Cena come in. Like, it's over for you if he shows up.
Oh no,
that's not great. All right, well, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure, and for this episode, thank you all for being here. Chat, you guys have been fun. If you listen to us later, review us with 5 stars or thumbs up or whatever you can do on the platforms, and thank you very much. But for this one, it has been
the last word.